Hi everyone, this is Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to do a little craft with me session. I recently received some complimentary products from Craspire. I think a lot of you are probably familiar with that company. They specialize in all things related to wax seal supplies, tools, etc. This is their website and I will link that down below. And if you jump over there and find some things you like, you can also take advantage of my coupon code, which is good for $5 off of any order over $40. And I will also link that below. This is what their home page looks like. So you can see they have by category stamps, stamp heads, stamp handles, sealing wax, the tools that go along with it, stationery. And in their stationery section, if you're someone who isn't into working with flames and wax, they also have some pre-made wax seals with an adhesive back to it. So you can try those out as well. Okay, so these are some wax seal heads that I ordered and they sent me, and I'm going to just play around with these today. So I've got these 7. I'll show them up close a little bit. This is just a kind of a flourish. And I have to say, I've ordered products from them before and I'm really happy with the quality. These heads are very solid, really weighty. The finish on them is really nice. This is my initial. And this one is a crown. This one I'm really excited to try out. It's an oval with roses on it, and it's my first oval. And then I've got some floral ones. That one, this one, and then this tree of life. So these 3 I am going to do in a part 2 video. And these 4 I am going to work with today. One thing I wanted to mention is you can order their wax seals with or without handles. And the first time I ordered some seal heads, I ordered them with handles and I ended up getting a couple of them. And I didn't realize that they were interchangeable and replaceable. So you really only need to order one because they screw onto all of the heads. I don't mind having 2 because sometimes when I am doing several different seals at one time, you know, with the same color wax, it's kind of nice to be able to stick one into your project and then start with the next one, and so you can use multiples. So I am going to start with this one and this one. And I've got a little warmer. I think I'll put some paper under here. I've got, they've got a number of different options for wax warmers, and I've got one that I've had for some time. And the way you work with it is you use a tea light, and you light that and just stick it underneath where the spoon sits. You can order wax spoons. These are warming spoons. I've used, I don't know if you're familiar with the sticks. There are sticks with wax in them too, and you can use those. But I really like using these pellets. I've used these a couple of times now. They're so much easier to use, and it's so much easier to control with the warming spoons. So I am going to start out with these kind of bronzy brown ones. Now, everyone does theirs a little different. And as far as the number of pieces, really depends on the user as well. I am a person with my wax seals, I don't like them to look exactly perfect with this nice rim of wax around the outside. I kind of like them to look a little bit more antique and authentic, and maybe having some pieces missing around the edges and maybe just a little wonky and not quite so perfect. So for me then, usually 3 of the wax pellets works. 3 to 4, I would say, is what I typically use. So for my first project, I created this little tag, and I like to put wax seals on tags. So I thought that a wax seal right up in this little corner here would look nice. So it does take a little bit of time to melt I need to figure out what my top is here. I think this way. And I sometimes get a little impatient, so I'll use a toothpick and smush it around a little bit. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I kind of push them down in so they melt. It doesn't take real long. I would say, you know, a few minutes and they'll be heated. I'm going to use the same color on my first two examples. I was looking for all different ideas. I like to try wax seals on all kinds of different things. And they're really handy if you're doing, I think, invitations or things for events. So I'm going to be doing a place card here in a little bit. But wedding event invitations would also be a really nice place to use a wax seal on envelopes. Okay, I think that's pretty well melted. So now I am just going to take this and drop it on there. And as I mentioned, I don't necessarily need it to be perfectly round. And I will just let that sit, and now I will move ahead with, I think 4 is probably pretty good. I've got some left in there though, so I'm going to put 3 more in there. Now my next little project, while that one's sitting, I made up a little place card. I think wax seals would be really neat on a place card. So I am going to let my pellets melt, and this one I think should be done. There, look how crisp that is, really pretty, love it. So that's my tag. Okay, I also like to incorporate other items like string, ribbon, things like that. So I'm going to try that on this one. Maybe just put my wax seal below that little knot on there. Now, this next one I'm using my initial, which is an S. So for that one, I do want to make sure I at least get the full S on there. So hopefully I've got enough wax in my little warmer here. That looks to be pretty well done. So I'm going to pour that just over the top of the ribbon. And I keep my spoon pretty close to the surface so that you can control that. Now that is not very round, but we'll see how my S turns out. Okay. Now I am going to wipe this spoon because I want to switch to a different color. One thing you have to, and I always keep paper towels on hand for that. You have to kind of be careful because they do get very hot. So I let it cool a little bit, but you can't let it cool too much or you won't get the wax out. And I just wipe out the inside with my paper towel. That does the job pretty well. So that's pretty clean. All right, while that one's setting, I am going to switch to some green pellets. Get that melting. And the next one I'm going to work on is, I'll see if this one's done. Got a big blob on that, so it's probably going to take a little bit longer, but I got my S, so that is success. And there is the place card. I think that's kind of cute with the little string on there. And I don't mind that it's, you know, not perfectly round. I kind of like the way it's misshapen on there. I think it just gives it a little more character. Okay, and I do like that color. Now, For this project, I printed an image of an old letter on this vellum. And I already glued on a piece of ribbon. So what I'd like to do is to take, and you'll see these come out really clean. So there's no cleaning or anything involved. So my next one, I'm going to put this crown on there. And I'm going to put it right approximately in that spot. This time I used 4 of the pellets, so we'll see how that goes. That's plenty, I think. All right. Pour that on. I don't press real hard, just give it a little bit of pressure. So it seems like you have a good impression, and then I'll let that sit for a little bit. Then I'll add, I've got some left in there. I think I'm going to add 2 more pellets. I'm going to use this oval one last, so I'm not sure how much that, I don't think will take quite as much wax. Let's see how this is going. The wax, you can get these in just a ton of different colors. I haven't experimented with a lot of different colors. I tend to stick to my same favorites. And I'm going to pull this one up. And there's my crown. And that just puts a nice seal on that paper. I like the way it goes with the ribbon too. You can experiment with, you know, different types of ribbon, thicknesses, you know, where you'd like to place them. But I think that's kind of pretty. This is something I would stick in one of my handmade journals. Okay, I think the last one I'm going to demonstrate is the traditional way of using wax seal, which is to seal an envelope. So I pulled out this old, well, it's a vintage letter from 1946 envelope and a letter inside. I'm going to seal that up. And what I like to do too is also incorporate some string. So what I'm going to do is take the string and just wind it around here a few times, something like that. And then I'm going to place my seal right down here. Don't really like the way that looks. I think I'm going to retwine it. All right, let's try this again. A little more haphazard. Okay, we'll try that. Now I see my wax is smoking, so you got to be careful. You don't want to leave it on too long that it starts burning. That'll be interesting because that is a very unusual shape. And I need to get my handle on here quick. All right, this is my oval. I think I could have done a little better job on getting that wax in the center. I'm gonna blow out my candle so I don't start anything on fire. That's the thing, you have to be careful with using flames. All right, we'll let that sit a little bit yet and then take a look at that one. And I'm thinking in the meantime, I can maybe find another piece of paper because I have some extra wax and I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to put that on here. See if that's enough to make a seal. wasn't as much as I thought. Yeah, this one did not turn out as well as I thought it would because of the way I poured my wax. I mean, it's okay. You know, it looks more like the old-fashioned authentic where you've got a little blob of wax, because back then, I don't know, it was probably a precious thing. So I think that looks okay. I'm gonna maybe just, while I'm on camera, throw in a little bit more wax and try that oval one again because it's so pretty. I want to get a decent impression on that one. So let's try melting a few more. I'm going to throw all my extras in, my 2 greens and one of my bronzy brown ones. So this is the little bit of wax I had left. I mean, that's cute. I would put that on something. Now I've just got it on a plain piece of paper here, so I would probably just tear around this and glue it onto something. I'll make another one beside it. All right. While we're waiting for that to melt, I think I'll just mention a little bit about what I want to do in my next video. So I've got these 3 left to try out. And what I thought I'd do next time is combine these with some dried and pressed flowers. I also like to use these seals in combination with dried flowers. So that is what I'm going to work on in my part 2, which will probably come out in about a week. So, all right, my wax is just about melted. This will be an interesting combo, the green and the brown. Okay, let's pour that on and see if we can make a better impression on this nice oval. Try to make it into an oval shape. There, I think that one will be much better. Pull out my flame, clean my wax. See if I can get any more out of this. I don't think so. It looks like there's more in there than what there really is, but I hate to waste any. And like I said, you know, you can just, if you've got extra, just throw it on a piece of paper and then tear it out and glue it onto something. You can glue those on too. Let's see, which one do I want to, let's try this. I don't think there's going to be much of an impression there, but try. All right, my spoon is all cleaned up. Let's take a look at what we've got here. They tend to look wet even after they're dry. So even though this one looks wet, it's dry. Take that one off too. Yeah. That is a different green with the brown in there. It's a darker green, kind of a really pretty, kind of sagey green. So that one turned out much better. You can see the full impression. And then this little one, see, that's pretty. I would reuse that. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, bye-bye.